All right, so let's talk time. So what is happening with time? Is it going down, to zero, or is it going to be going all the way up to the moon? Right now, a lot of people are a little scared, they're a little worried, and it's just something that you have to get used to with crypto. So crypto's been around for quite some time. So has Time. Time is fairly new, but it's still its founder, Daniel. He's actually been in the game for a really long time. He also has skin in the game. So his reputation is on the line. And this is something we all have to understand because the market, it goes up and down. And the entire market right now is down. I'd be concerned if it was just Time that was down. But no, it's pretty much everything across the board. And you have to get used to this in the game of crypto. Because if you're overly worried, if you're really concerned, this is because of one of two reasons. The first reason being, this is your first time in crypto and you're not used to it, or you have invested more money than you are willing to lose. You have invested the money that you need for your mortgage, the money that you need for your rent. You're not supposed to do that. Rule number one for investing is do not invest with money you can't afford to lose. And a lot of people don't understand that, but that's something that's, an actual real thing. Do not invest with money that you can't afford to lose. And if we look at, here's why I'm not concerned. So let's look at Bitcoin. This is the entire history of Bitcoin for the entire lifetime of it. So if we look at it like this, right? Back in 2017, Bitcoin hit about 19,000, right? And then it dropped all the way down to about 3,000. Then it went back up to about 11,000 and then down to 4,900. And then look at this, it shot up. So these people up here who waited, they got about 63K. But then look at this again. This was back in earlier this year, in July, 32,000. And then it went back up. This is just how it works. The markets aren't always going to be 100x. They're not always going to be going up constantly. And if we look at Time Wonderland, you get a similar picture, not as dynamic, but a similar picture. In Time Wonderland, we had it like this. I mean, look, this is back in just not a few months ago. Look at that, 8,300. It dropped down to about 5,400. Then it went back up and down. And this is something that you just have to be used to within not only the crypto market, but the stock market as well. The stock market goes up and down, maybe not as sporadically, but it still goes up and down like this. And this is something that you just have to get used to. And I'm not really too worried, and I'm actually kind of bullish on Time. And there is a reason why. The reason I am bullish is because of the backing per time. So backing per time essentially puts them within scope of their treasury balance. And what this does is basically, if the price were to drop, they would essentially purchase back Time at that price point right here, which currently right now is at $1,995. This essentially puts them in scope with their project. It builds confidence of the community. Because behind every community, you have to understand, it's been done before. People have pulled rugs, and people have run all these different schemes. People call this a Ponzi scheme, and this basically what it comes down to is the founder. So Daniel, he actually did back in December 2nd. He said that they sold 893K of AVAX, and essentially they're reinvesting it into things like Ethereum and Bitcoin, which will drive the treasury balance up. So the way the treasury balance works is basically, when someone mints a coin or invests within the project, that increases the treasury balance. And what he's doing essentially is backing the treasury with even more. So that way it's going to be, because the treasury isn't just simply Time. The treasury is a mix of different cryptos to create a portfolio per se. And what that will do is that will, as Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever else they're invested in increases, it's going to increase the treasury balance. Therefore, you have that confidence within the community where everyone can understand what they are doing. Because here's what I don't understand, and help me out with this if you do. So let's look at Wonderland, and let's actually make this a full history view all the way back to September. People have been bullish on it throughout the time. I mean, going from here, it's 6,000 to 8,000 to 9,000. They've been very bullish on it. But the moment it takes a dip, they freak out. And I don't understand what that is. That's when they start calling it a scam, you're getting the rug pulled from under you, that sort of thing. But if they actually really wanted to know, the entire market's down. Like, we'll take a look at Ethereum, down. Let's look at Bitcoin, the holy grail of everything. Bitcoin is down as well. Look at this. And this is why I can't take these people seriously, because the entire market is down. It's not just one. If it was just Wonderland down, that's when I'd become skeptical. That's when I'd start asking all the questions. What's actually going on here? But we're looking at Wonderland. You can't be bullish on it only when it's going up. And then the moment it takes a hit, you start freaking out. And I think that is because, and correct me if I am wrong, I think that is because people are actually investing with money that they shouldn't be investing with. Maybe they're using their rent payment or their car payment, and they're just freaking out because they shouldn't have put it in there to begin with. They were hoping for a Hail Mary, and now they're freaking out. Because if you actually read about the project, you learn about the founders, you learn about Daniel and his history, and he's got that reputation, then you should have no problem with it going down, riding it through. Because in the end, you're backing the project, right? You're backing what they stand for. You read that white paper, you understand what's going on with it. And because of that, you want to stay with them and back the project all the way till the end. Because if we just take a loss every time something goes down, or just cut our losses, what's that going to do to your portfolio? Now, what's to say that time doesn't continue to drop? Let's say the time price goes down to about 2,500, 2,400, that range, even as low as 2,000. The backing per time, of course, that's not going to stay steady. That'll change. So what you have to understand is if it gets that low, right? Me personally, I'm not giving any financial advice. I'm saying me personally, I would probably buy in more, because there's two factors at play here. Number one, you have this really high amount of APY. I mean, the reward rate that they're granting to you for staking is just incredible. But the other part, and I think the more important part, especially when investors are looking, the backing per time. So the treasury will most likely buy it back. Let's say, I mean, if this is 2,500, this will probably be around 1,700, 1,800. They'll probably buy it back from you if it were to drop to about 1,500. So you have your own built-in stop loss. So what other project gives you an actual treasury that backs you up? So it is not, I'm not going to say impossible, but it is near impossible to actually bottom out and lose 100% of what you've invested, because you do have that treasury behind you. And you have to understand, and I understand if you don't understand, of course, but read about the project itself if you don't understand this, because they have a whole section on their website that you can go to and read more about it and understand it. This little docs icon in the bottom left-hand corner, this will basically tell you to a site where it basically explains everything, how it works. It's kind of like their own little wiki. But with that being said, I honestly think that this is a good long-term play. Some assets within the crypto market are good short-term plays. They're good for just that one quick, make that quick 100x or whatever. This one is more of a long-term play, because you're looking, a year down the road, what it's going to be at. What's your APY going to get you to? What is a project's goals? And this is what you have to actually really consider. And I just wanted to give you guys some context. So currently my stake balance is 0.243946 memo. When I first started staking time, I think I had put in 0.15-ish. So I think now is a great time to get in. I think it's staying at 4,200, 4,235. So I think now is a great time to get in, especially considering that the price is so low and the APY is still sitting around 84K. I think that's a great time to get in. If you guys want to follow along, I'll be posting updates. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It does help the channel out and also keeps you updated in case I post any updates coming soon. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Till next time.